Today, we're diving into the strange and, frankly, kind of terrifying story of a single parasite that has a shocking secret. It's called Taenia solium. You probably know it as the pork tapeworm, and it leads this bizarre double life inside the human body that can lead to two completely different outcomes. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, here's the central mystery we're going to unravel today. How is it possible for one single organism to be responsible for, on one hand, a pretty minor intestinal issue, and on the other, a severe, even life-threatening invasion of your body's tissues? The answer is, well, it's both fascinating and a little bit scary. Here's the game plan for today. We'll start by getting to know the parasite itself, and then we'll uncover its really deceptive life cycle, which is the key to this whole thing. We'll break down the two different diseases it causes, look at how doctors actually find it, and finally cover how to treat it, and more importantly, how to avoid it altogether. All right, so first things first, let's formally meet the creature at the center of our story. Okay, so Taenia solium is an endoparasite. All that means is that it lives inside its host. And unlike some tiny microscopic parasites you might think of, this is a metazoan, which is just a fancy way of saying it's a complex, multicellular animal. It has evolved to thrive in one very specific place, inside a host's intestines. And get this, it has a pretty intimidating nickname, the armed tapeworm. Why? Well, it gets that name because its head, or scolex, has a double row of hooks. It literally uses this crown of hooks to anchor itself deep into the intestinal wall, which, as you can imagine, makes it incredibly hard to get rid of. Now, this is where the story gets really, really interesting. The key to understanding this parasite's split personality, its dual nature, is all hidden within its complex, two-faced life cycle. So take a look at this diagram from the CDC. It perfectly shows the main cycle. It's basically a journey between two different hosts: pigs, which act as the intermediate host, and then humans, who are the definitive host. That's where the adult worm wants to end up, so it can live and reproduce. Let's break down exactly how this journey happens. It all starts when eggs, or little tapeworm segments called proglottides, are passed in human feces, which then contaminate the environment. A pig comes along and ingests this contaminated stuff. Inside the pig, those eggs hatch, and the larvae migrate into the pig's muscles, forming these tiny cysts. The cycle finally completes when a person eats raw or undercooked pork that has these cysts in it. And that leads to the first and much milder of the two diseases. And this right here, this brings us to the most critical part of this whole explainer, the two faces of Taenia solium. Because what happens inside your body depends entirely on what form of the parasite you actually ingest. Okay, pay really close attention to this. If you eat the larvae in undercooked pork, you get what's called taeniasis. That's when an adult tapeworm grows inside your intestine. The symptoms? Often there are none, or they're super mild. But, and this is a huge but, if you accidentally ingest the eggs, maybe from contaminated water or from someone's unwashed hands, you get cysticercosis. This is a completely different ballgame. Instead of a worm in your gut, the larvae hatch and travel all over your body, forming cysts in your muscles, your eyes, and most dangerously, your green. And that can cause devastating symptoms like seizures. And this is the real kicker. Like the source material from the CDC points out, having that intestinal tapeworm taeniasis isn't just a problem for you. It actually turns that person into a carrier, a walking source of tapeworm eggs that can cause the much more dangerous disease in other people. So let that sink in. Someone with the mild intestinal worm can, just through poor hygiene, accidentally ingest the eggs themselves and give themselves the severe form, cysticercosis. Or, even worse, they can contaminate food or water and spread it to their entire family and community. So one person's mild infection can literally lead to another person's life-threatening disease. It's a massive public health issue. So, given that we have these two completely different diseases, how in the world do doctors figure out which one a person might have? Well, the diagnostic process has to be just as specific. It's pretty cool, actually. To find the adult tapeworm of taeniasis, doctors look for its eggs or segments in a stool sample. Simple enough. But to find the cysts from cysticercosis, especially when they're in the brain, that's a condition called neurocysticercosis. They need heavy-duty medical imaging like an MRI or a CT scan. They can also use blood tests to look for antibodies, which shows if your immune system has been fighting the parasite. And there are even advanced PCR tests that can pinpoint the parasite's DNA. Okay, so we know how to find it. Now, how do we get rid of it? And, probably the most important question, how do we avoid this whole mess in the first place? As you've probably guessed by now, the treatment really depends on which disease you've got. The intestinal worm from Tyneasis is relatively straightforward. You take a course of antiparasitic drugs. But cysticercosis, especially with cysts in the brain, is way, way trickier. Treatment there might involve a whole cocktail of drugs: antiparasitics, steroids to control the inflammation, and anti-seizure medications. But at the end of the day, prevention is everything. And the good news is the steps are pretty simple. Cook your pork thoroughly. That kills the larva. Wash your hands with soap and water, especially after using the bathroom and before you touch food. That prevents the spread of eggs. And then on a bigger scale, things like clean water, proper sanitation, and making sure pigs are healthy, those are the keys to breaking the parasite's life cycle for good. This parasite is a global problem, but it's most common in communities with poor sanitation and where people and pigs live really close together. In a place like the Netherlands, for example, it's now mostly considered an imported disease. And that just goes to show how critical global food safety and public health standards are in the world we live in today. And that kind of leaves us with a bigger question to chew on. The story of Taenia solium is a really powerful reminder that a health issue in one corner of the world can easily travel. So as we all get more and more connected through travel and trade, how do we build systems that can protect everyone, everywhere, from challenges just like this one? Just so you know, all the information we talked about today was compiled using a Gemini Deep Search. And if you want to check out our homework, you can find a detailed list of all our sources in the Notebook LM document that's linked down in the description. Hey, if you found this explainer interesting or helpful, do us a favor and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives just like this one. We'd seriously love to hear what you think, so please leave your questions and any feedback in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching.